guys because I'm playing.
I get it, pay attention to one.
Do I have to sit over there? One of these.
And camera, luckily. Okay, so 2, go. And I'm screwing up. Hello, welcome to this week's Growler Hour. We're very excited to have our very own Conrad Pickett here today. He is currently the administrator of the Real Estate Academy in El Paso, Texas, as well as he's a former president of the Greater El Paso Association of Realtors. Conrad, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely.
And I love the office. Absolutely beautiful. Love it.
Appreciate that. So definitely a lot going on. Is he the youngest?
But
He is the youngest.
and you ran on shattering records.
Yes, that's correct.
Whose record did you shatter for the youngest
Mr. Agony Gate.
by over half a decade? Go on.
Yes, he did. Thank you. So you are the youngest president. You were actually president.
You were, but yes, I am.
Was a better one. But you were president in 2020. So year of COVID. The way I kind of look at real estate now and generational wise is you've got basically pre-COVID, post-COVID real estate. Give us, first and foremost, we're going to get into real estate, the academy, and training and things. What challenges did you see running the association the year of 2020 and COVID? And what kind of things have you seen never going to be the same again?
Well, you said president. So I was acting as president, selling real estate, and building commercial property with my dad. We were building 3 3750 square foot buildings ourselves. So I had a lot going on, and I would show up to the showings in steel toe boots and sweaty and a hard hat, and I had to go to. And the thing with that was the realtors that I had to speak to. I don't know if you guys remember, but you couldn't access MLS without watching my video saying, "Hey, stop giving one-day codes to, buyers who were walking in property unaccompanied." So that was crazy. And then we have this post COVID with the interest rates going up, and no, it's just a business cycle. We teach it in the classroom. All of you know more of that. It's going to go up, it's going to peak, it's going to come down, we're going to go into a depression. It's always up and down. Now, what was the question? Like, what do I think is never going to be the same? Real estate. And the practice of it, and the selling the service. I don't think selling our service is ever going to be the same. I think we're going to have to go like way above and beyond on selling the service that we provide.
Well, Conrad, how long did you get your license for?
Going on more than 10 years, so about 12 years I've been licensed. I am a third generation. My grandfather's 56 years or something like that. So I've got my grandfather, my dad, and my mom. And my mom knows exactly how long she's been licensed because she got her license when she had me. So I've been in the business my entire life.
And that's kind of goes according to all of us as well, but it really comes down to, we've had this conversation multiple times, is that the difference of, we've all been for about 20 years. And the difference in that 20 years is the first 9 years were drastically different than what the market had been before.
Mm-hmm.
But the acceleration of changes has been so rapid over those last 5 to 10 years that we're seeing differences from the point where every year is night and day from the day.
I agree.
And COVID and that market, we were in California at a Century 21 conference, February of 2020. We got back. We had all these ideas. We met with Andrew. Had said it these things.
I think that was about 20 minutes before the shutdown.
Yeah, we had even kind of heard rumblings, and I think we went on a long run. I remember down in downtown LA, and I remember feeling like, man, I feel like crap. He felt like crap, and probably at that point had COVID.
Yeah.
But COVID hits, everything changes. The whole market changes. So now we're at a state where things are just now rapidly paced. Now you have Zillow coming into equation and trying to get 6% of business. And not that we have a Zillow that I'm here not for this. Sure.
No,
We're not,
Z word.
we're not exactly, it's not, they're not a huge,
But that comes down to it. The market is changing so rapidly.
Yeah.
And now we've talked about, Texas forms have been the same forever. And we talked last time we were teaching at the academy that they had just changed forms. And you just informed me this morning that I didn't even know this, that forms are changing again
Tomorrow.
Yeah, a video came out today about there's, I want to say 11 forms being, it's some serious changes. If brokers aren't keeping up with this and telling their agents are going into these things blind, going, what's going on here?
I will commend the realtor community though, or the association here in Texas, because they are doing all of this before the actual required settlement date, and that was done on purpose, obviously. And with y'all's feedback, the members' feedback, they decided, wait, well, hold on a bit. Like, thanks for the beta test.
We need some more stuff.
We need to do a little bit more checking here.
And now you have promulgated changes with the 1 to 4 family that are currently in red line function.
Yep.
Looking to go active as of November.
November 4th.
Yeah. So that's gonna drastically change, adding in buyer agent comp into the equation. And we talked about that with Scott, last week.
Yeah.
Like, this is something that's relative.
but it's interesting though, like you said too, like there are years to go through where real estate's kind of like, in everything, but real estate especially, this is kind of how it is, right? For years. And now, especially post-COVID, right? COVID itself and then post that, like every few months, everything changes.
Oh yeah.
Like we look right now, like it's the 22nd, 23rd time frame, right? The 17th, kind of a big deal happened, right? And like you said too, like, hey, we're not trying to do this exactly when this happens. Like, hey, we're not going to try to. Our MLS changed a lot of stuff beforehand, all that, but everything changes. Not only like, oh, hey, we suggest you guys do this. Like, I don't know if you guys noticed, but there's a giant lawsuit that says you have to do certain things. We're changing across the board so fast, like, and it's forced upon us too. It's not just hey, the market's changing. We're being forced.
Yeah, and you say monthly, but we can go weekly from the 17th to tomorrow.
Exactly right. And the 17th is a huge day. Right. We tried to get ahead of the game, but at the end of the day, 17th, like, no backseats, right? Like, you got to do it. And now here it is. Sure.
And are realtors part of the market and what they have to abide by and all that? Absolutely. 100%.
Well, and you're not a realtor.
I am not.
And because of your association with the academy, and you now are under different guidelines
Correct.
than us as realtors, and that's something that also a lot of people are not conscious of, is that there are different guidelines now for both parties.
Absolutely.
But
100%.
TREC is now putting you under some obligation as well by changing those forms.
Yep.
So you're going to have some guideline points as a agent and licensed agent that now we are already having to have those guidelines in play. And Andrew mentioned this a while back, is that we are kind of just reverting back to what we were at,
Mhm.
right? When we had They fought in the late 90s, early 2000s for this buyer agent representation. And now it feels like, are we just kind of reverting to a version where we don't know what's happening? I'm having agents right now call me all the time, asking me for questions.
The big issue we've got is NAR is nationwide, and that's what I think a lot of people forget is we've spent so much time in our own backyards. Texas, we talked about how Texas realtors did a fantastic job. Texas is so far above so many other states and where we are, where we've been, contracts-wise, agency-wise, all those type things. And, NAR is having to, in their defense, pick up the pieces of 50 different states with 50 different rules, and 50 different set of forms, and 50 different plans, and 50 different ideas. And it's a nightmare to say what, they're blaming NAR for something Missouri does, but Texas doesn't do that. But everyone's now culpable. And it's a hard game that we're having to play of, figuring out how are we going to combine all these states with different laws to work together. And now you've got 1.5 million people given a deadline, but no instruction that we have to change everything.
Well, Conrad mentioned it before there. Colorado, we talked about with Scott, was protesting. Now you just mentioned Oklahoma.
I think
Oklahoma might be protesting. So that's the difference, is that everybody's kind of questioning, is this something that we're still playing for? Is this something we're still successfully for?
Yeah.
We don't know.
Well, and
Being forced to be a part of it kind of goes against it.
Well, and we used the word of the lawsuit. NAR hit with another lawsuit yesterday, or today, actually. I think it's going to happen. They're continuing, because not only are you having lawsuits from sellers, you're now having lawsuits from non-realtors demanding access to MLS, saying realtors they face trust. So there's a lot of issues going on that we don't really have any answers to in a full basic form. And it's not, hey, we solved this lawsuit, it's over. There's still multiple lawsuits coming. I think people feel like there's blood on the water, and they're going to try to get their piece. But it's a dangerous game, definitely, of where we're going to stand, how we're going to finish. Because there is no answer set to that part.
And I do want to piggyback off of that, because the phone calls that I've been getting are, hey, do you have any classes? Do you have any of this or that on the new law? It is not a law. It is a settlement
agreements
between the DOJ and the National Association of Realtors.
Well, it's not even the DOJ. That settlement's still kind of up in the air. It's the settlement between the first seller's lawsuit
sellers and all that, right? The class action.
The class action. There's still the DOJ, as well as many others that are like that.
But when they asked me that question, I go, Sherman Antitrust changed, right? Because it's not a law, it's a rule, right? It's a rule change to how you guys realtors. I don't say realtors.
It's tomatoes.
It is not. There's only two syllables.
But yeah, it's not law, it's rule.
Realtor. What do you say?
Realtor.
What do you say? Realtor. I want to say realtor.
You're going to stay in.
I will escort you out.
Which one
of
sounds a
the
little
office
ruder, a
myself.
little French out the end, a little dare take, you will? Joe dare take?
Well, and we have to really consciously pay attention to the fact that there is a lot of game changers, and it's not even necessarily people that are rocking the boat as much as it's just people paying attention to the fact that it's changing. There is a conscious effort, and you've already kind of seen this, that there is going to be a shift in how many agents are comfortable asking for a buyer rate.
Absolutely, what I meant by the selling the service.
Correct. And now it's going to come to the conscious point that Harvard put out a study that said that there will be 48% less realtors in a year.
48%.
48%. Because they don't know, a lot of people are not getting conscious conversation about how to deal with this new thing. And that's kind of what brought us all together, is that we're teaching a course that kind of gives some guidelines to what should be disseminated from the broker down to the agent. And it kind of expound upon what that brokerage class that we've been kind of mysteriously talking about for the last year, since last October.
Yeah, so the real estate brokerage class is a 30-hour course. You guys, I think it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Right. And it is a required course for SAE students who are renewing their license for the first time, sale apprenticeship education. And I think it's a great class for them to take because, one, it gives them a perspective of the broker, right? But it's a little intimidating because the book is that big. You know, you should play Seesaw.
It's
with
bigger than
it.
the
Chapter
principal's
3,
book,
which by the way
we'll
is
get
covered
into.
in on Monday.
Chapter 3 is
You had run the big guns on Monday.
yeah. Chapter 3
Okay,
is,
the only person
None
that
of,
has four
go ahead,
chapters.
Conrad, you were
The only
finished.
person that
Conrad,
has
you were
four
saying?
chapters.
Yeah,
is
no,
me. I
it's-
think
it's-
Conrad didn't like me that day.
no. It was Andrew who picked the chapter.
And the truth comes out. Got it.
Andrew picked the chapters, and Andrew said he wanted to win today. That's what happened.
But no, it's a class, guys, and I do want to thank you guys for bringing us in today for specifically that class, because 48%, you know, dropping out of the market is a big deal. Now, really quick, I want to just side note and catch up on that one really quick. 2007, 2009, we know what happened, right? Well, my mother will tell me that that was the best year of her business ever because she stuck it out.
Same.
Because she stuck it out,
And you adapted
and
to
you
market.
adapt. My grandfather, 50-something years. I mean, and I have in handwriting. All we did was adapt, right? He did the HUD. He did the foreclosure. He did the this and that. 2007, 2009.
He was doing the lockout. I mean, he was doing the property,
Right, the
property
management for HUD.
Yeah, but I mean, going in and closing on properties and locking them down and doing
Right.
all that.
That's kind of,
Cash for keys to newer agents, that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
That was something I was doing weekly.
Right.
And that was because we had to adapt to the different type of market. And that's the same thing that's happening right
exactly right. You're changing your systems, right? And that's kind of the whole thing. Like Jared James, if anybody listens to Jared James, he always says, you marry them, you marry the principal, you date the model, right? You change up your models, all this kind of stuff, but you have the principles that are always the same, right? And I think that's something that's super important is that how many times since '06, we'll all say, right? Like, how many times since '06 has the real estate market come through and like, this is it. This is the end, it's all over, right?
At least 4.
How many times have you been the number one realtor in the Southwest region since '06? How many years? Would you say probably all of them, right? Why? Because every single year has been different.
Right.
Because you have their principles, and then you have your model. You have to change it. You have to adapt to those times, right? It's one of those things. Like I would say, the military-wise, we have our 5 principles of patrolling, right? The 5 principles of patrolling were the same when we were fighting the British, right? Now and in the future, we don't use tomahawks and muskets anymore.
Sure.
Right, and in 100 years, we're going to be using laser guns, but the 5 principles will be the same. But our systems will be a little different. Right? Our models will be a little
They're
different.
the same reason that we still practice and learn about Thermopylae thousands of years later.
The principles are the same.
Yeah.
But our systems are different, and I think that's one of those things. So when we say things like 48%, and I've heard as different numbers, different from 40% to 60% will be leaving in the next year, right? But we look at that, and there are 2 different types of realtors, and we say that, and I personally say this in this course, it's like, hey, look, there are 2 different types of realtors, right? Realtors. That we're going to look at that and say, hey, look,
I'm out. Shake the mic up.
yeah, but it sounds so sexy. Come on, realtors.
sounds like you're having a stroke.
Or something else. Anyways, point. Hey, so you're one of 2 type of realtor. You're gonna look at this and say, hey, oh shit, right? 48%. I'll own that part. Or you look at that and say, hey, 48% to 60% of my competition is gone because I'm definitely not in that lower ass end, right? I'm not gonna be selling T-Mobile in 20 minutes. I'm gonna go make sure that I'm doing the right thing. And how you do that is you look ahead. Right? Like in this case, like what have we all been looking like? This lawsuit is not like a brand new thing. It's not like it just showed up on the 17th, right?
Right.
Everybody knew it was coming. Just everybody's like, oh my gosh, what do we gotta do? Whatever the case is, what do we all do here, right? What do we start training people? Hey, what are we gonna do? Where do you go? If you have to show us, what's that? Basics. Have people sign shit. It all comes down. It's that simple. Like we're gonna start getting our basics down. We're gonna change our systems. We're gonna change that model, right? And it's different. Our principles are the same. We're still providing great service, but we're changing that that model.
Yeah, and now I'm gonna, sell the service. Let's say 48, 60%. Well, somebody who needs to renew their license for the first time from today, like from what technically October 1, 2023 to for forever until it changes. I don't know how many sales a brand new agent makes in the first 2 years, but if they don't take the 30-hour real estate brokerage class, they go inactive.
Plus, 2 other 30-hour courses and legal updates.
As part of their 98 hours.
And that's the thing. The problem is the sad truth. And I taught broker responsibility, which is a 6-hour course for brokers and delegated supervisors yesterday. And the problem is, I said it in the class, I'm sure people don't start thinking about the renewal until about a month out.
Sure.
And if you have to take 98 hours,
That's making you out of the business. So,
assuming you could take those classes within those 3
That's the
weeks.
thing. When do they be put on, right? Like you only have so many.
Yeah.
And this is the crazy part, right? Like when we were what was it, last week?
Last week.
We came in and asked you, said, hey, everybody was here. Who told you about that you had to be this?
Right.
And everybody, 90% of them were like, you guys, when they called it to the book. And
Right.
And thankfully you were given the class in person.
Right. And so, Andrew, yes, you are correct. They're going to probably squeeze it in, 30 days in, and Trek gives you 90, 60, 30-day notices, right? You tell me, does the broker get 90, 60, 30-day notices that their agents are about to expire?
Actually, I think we get 60.
So you get the
Usually I
60.
get a 60-day.
So the agent gets the 90, you'll get a 60 probably in a 30.
60 and a
for that, like. And so, yes, and so Nick brings it up because I was just curious, and I said, well, let me just do a quick experiment. And I said, okay, how did you figure out that you needed this class? Well, because I came in last week or whatever it was to take a course to renew my license, and the academy said, and do you want to take real estate brokerage next week because we're having it? And she goes, do I need to? Do I need it? Second girl. So we told her, right? Second young girl, she says, I said, how did you
take?
Yeah, look at that. Look at it. Man.
Trying to do.
I'm stealing the ball. I'm stealing the ground. The other young lady.
Throws you off mindset.
Yeah, I know. It threw me off, man.
I made eye
Talk about
contact
it
too.
more.
The other young
Sorry,
lady,
Conrad.
same thing. She says, I called the academy, right? I called the academy, and I said, do you have a broker? Yes. I said, okay. When do you expire? At the end of this month. She's gonna go inactive. Okay, she will go inactive. And I've discussed this with her because the very first time you renew your license, you cannot defer it like we can.
And that's super important to realize. Like,
Right.
there's no like, oh, hey, sorry, I was a little behind.
No.
Too bad.
And the broker will scoop up the listings. And these agents, especially newer agents, if they come through us, I think they have the understanding of who the relationship is with, and it's client broker, right? It always has been. If you sell your mom's house, it's in broker's listing, right? And so they go inactive, they don't have their listings, they don't have their buyers, they don't have their executory contracts, they cannot sell real estate or conduct a brokerage activity. That would be a Class A misdemeanor, which is up to a $4,000 fine, a year imprisonment, or both.
And Trek's not a big fan of giving you your license after that.
Well, it'll take a while, but yeah, I mean, after the misdemeanor, maybe, right? But guys, and it's just really important, and Gephardt is on board with us. If you read your newsletters, they have included us in their weekly newsletter, and I say us because we teach that course, but the academy provides it. And what I was trying to get at is with the 60% drop off of realtors, well, let's say real estate agents, because the question was, how many new agents, what is the production in the first 2 years of any real estate agent, right? Probably not a lot. Okay, probably not a lot.
Well,
And so discouragement
a
comes
lot of
in.
these people came in and they're barely making out the scrape by as it is.
Yeah.
But they're chasing this mindset of, I want the biggest commission.
Sure.
And unfortunately, that tends to fall into these massive brokerages.
Sure.
Where you have kind of I use the term absentee broker, but you have a broker that just you can't have your eyes on 150, 250 people.
Agreed.
It's difficult.
That's Brian's model. We're not telling anyone they can't do that running their business. Just out there.
Opinion. Tom,
Everyone's allowed to run their brokerage.
Now
however
have
they
their
so
opinions.
choose.
Well, one of my chapters includes that the sales agents really don't care about the broker's overhead. You know, and so, like, if I don't produce, oh, darn, you know, it's like, but we have an office to run.
Yeah.
There's expenses, there's business expenses.
Which is why I think this course is actually awesome. When this first started in October, everybody's like, "Oh man," you know. And again, this is one of those things where it's like you marry the pencil, you date the mom.
Right.
When it first started, we're like, "This is bullshit." My God, I'm like, why do we have to take it? Why would someone with 2 years need to take a broker's? Why would you have to take that?
Real estate brokerage, yeah.
Yeah, real estate broker. Thank you. I don't have to teach you. But the point is, hold on, I'm not done. Stand up, right? The point is that when I first started, I was like, man, this is crap. Why didn't you have to take this? But what's really cool about it is we didn't talk about, hey, how much does coffee cost?
Sure.
How much does
Oh, yeah.
electricity? How much is rent? How much is the good toilet paper? Not the stuff that scratches you.
We bought Scott
I'm
once,
talking-
and we almost had a complete.
100%. We get the good stuff, right? Like nobody even knows, right? Like everybody goes in there and they come out like feeling like they're walking on a cloud.
Sure.
You don't know how much that costs.
Right.
The red shark.
But we bring it up. I bring it up. On Monday, we talk about toilet paper a lot.
Yeah.
Right? And it's important. Because the point is how much does that cost? Everybody's like, oh man, I gotta pay my broker for all this stuff. Like, do you know how much this crap costs? How much rent is?
Yeah.
2024?
Stamps.
Like,
Stamps.
But sure, copy machines. Nobody think copy machines. Nobody think about it. The point is, my point is that it's really good for these new agents to realize, crap, my broker does a lot more than I thought they did. Because before you think, oh, I'm just giving them all, I'm going to be a broker and make all the money, right? In reality, it's like, man, all that money comes in here and pays for your lights. to
Cost
be
of
on.
business. I mean, we talk about the cost of sales in the course. We talk about the cost of business in the course. And every Thursday that I wrap up that course, I ask them, talk to me, right? Talk to me. What'd you get? What'd you go? Like, what is the deal? They love the course. They love the course.
It's the perfect course at the perfect time.
It is. It really is. And yeah, they do have to take it again if they ever want to become a broker. But they love it, and they come back with, man, I have a lot more appreciation for my broker now. You know, reading this chapter, that chapter, whatever it is.
I honestly think that the course almost should have a change of name, though. I think it should be, I almost debate that it should be a course at the very beginning of your career, because a lot of the principles that we talk about in that course are business principles.
Absolutely.
And what to do, how to run a business. This is the problem that most agents do when they come into this business. They forget that it is a business.
Personal business.
It is your personal business. That's my problem. That's what I love about this whole course. Like I said, I'm embarrassed that I was like, I talked a lot of crap over like, man, this is crap. Oh, this is. If you join real estate, it is your personal business.
Absolutely.
Like everything you do is amazing. Like our Uncle Dan used to say, there's no ceiling. You can make as much money. You do your own hours. You make as much money as you want. But he also said, he never mentioned there's no floor, right? Like, right? Like you show up in real estate, like you think, oh, they're just gonna show up and want me to sell their houses. People graduate the academy, they show up and think, all right, any second now, people are gonna walk in here and ask me to sell their house.
Right.
It's not gonna happen.
Right.
Right? Like you need to work your business like a business.
Yeah.
And so many people, they merge their money and all this kind of stuff, and people run it like an actual business.
Yeah, and they need to, and you know, make up your own hours, do this, work when you want. I get that, but guys,
Sounds good.
You work when others don't. You know, you're working the Saturdays, the Sundays, the late nights. You're maybe meeting a night worker, you know, late in the evening. I don't know what.
Every realtor knows this. Hey guys, we're gonna go eat. Hey guys, just kidding. You're gonna be in a parking lot for 20 minutes while I'm showing a house.
Yeah, no. But I agree with that statement that because this class talks about the broker's business and it is all about, you know, how to run it, you teach the building science portion of it. And who thinks of that?
It's a tough chapter.
It is a tough chapter.
Because it talks about, we have this constant effort of saying, don't get involved in commercial real estate. And I feel like that chapter tells them, hey, learn commercial real estate.
Yeah.
But listen,
Well, we also teach them not to get involved with finance the entire chapter.
30 hours.
Class of finance.
And that's the part, is that there is no perfect version of this, right?
No.
Across the entire United States, there's no perfect version.
Right.
Texas does strive. They do. They work really hard at trying to come up with the best version that's going to make sense.
Agreed.
But with that in mind, this course is just beneficial. It's not perfect. It has, and we've all talked about it. It's like that book literally is probably 4 weeks of.
It's bigger than
Oh,
the
I-
principles
I-
book.
Yeah,
The principles is divided into 2 weeks.
it's bigger than Principles. You're right. Principles is well, 1 and 2 is 60 hours. That's 2 weeks from Monday to Thursday, 30 and 5. Okay.
Or 4 weeks. I must.
Right, or 4 weeks night classes. Yeah, it's a doozy, and we have to teach it in 30 hours.
Across.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna go through 300 pages today.
No, but like when I
They actually like each other, guys. I promise.
when I do the last day, I get through 1 chapter, and then we got to go to lunch, and then I still got 2 more chapters to do, and then they have their exam.
With us.
And then they have their exam, and it's every day it's like that, right? Every single day it's like, but however, when I teach it, and guys, I've taught it Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 5. I have taught every single day, every single chapter, and I'm not kidding. Friday, I am wiped out.
Oh.
If you look at my watch, yesterday or Tuesday, I taught 9 hours. I walked 7 miles in the classroom in boots. 7 miles, my watch said. And I was like, "You're a liar." And I was gonna put it on my ankle to tell the truth. But,
Boss move, right? Like just point out that he taught the whole week.
no, it's good. But every day went like that.
It's a fast class because let me rephrase. I think that class is as good as the students allow the class to be, because that class is like legal update 1 and 2, like brokerage responsibility. It requires interaction and conversation.
Absolutely agree.
I mean, I taught brokerage responsibility yesterday. It's a 6-hour class, and I think it's 22 pages of material.
Right.
And it makes you sit there and go, okay, guys, this class is going to get really boring or really interesting depending on our conversation.
Yeah.
And I think the great thing about that course is if you get enough students in a course that can start thinking, can start conversing, it is an incredibly quick, enjoyable 30 hours, or it could be the longest 30 hours of your life.
Yeah, and also with that, okay, so really quick, I thank you guys for again bringing us on here because of the importance for these license holders. But one other thing too that I just want to throw out there is, I don't know if you guys had taught it or not. I think you may have. Yeah, you did. When you had 36-year veterans in the room with the 2 years.
I think that was awesome.
That was the best one, I think, because you got those 30, 40-year agents in with these young bucks, and they were like, what? Like, I mean, it was just cool to have that,
That course has enough people in the market to field an 18, 19 person class.
Oh, but Brian, that thing, how many? I want to do the data. I don't know how I can do the data, but how many people need the class?
Oh wow!
Well, I can do the data for you. How many people are in your class? Have been in the last 2 years?
Oh.
What is your average day and night class attendance?
30 to 40
So that tells me you should be having 30 to 40 people
every 6 weeks.
every week taking that, every
Right.
month taking the course.
When
Not to mention brokers wanting to become brokers.
and like when Nick was there, I told him, guys, there's 5 of you. The other guy too? My bad. I said, how'd you find out about this class? He said, because I got an email that I'm inactive.
Oh, that'll do it.
Straight up, he said, I got an email because I'm inactive and then I have to take this course. But I told him, there's 5 of you in this room. We should be in the big room with 50 people and, eventually, hopefully, team up and get a big place. But I agree, we should have 20 people, we should have 30 people. And it's unfortunate because the word is not getting out there.
Well, and I think that's what hopefully everybody that's watching this kind of gets out of this is that the course one, we will do our best to maintain, keep
Sure.
everybody engaged, and so on and so forth. But two, it is a requirement.
It is.
After October of 23,
Yep.
you have to have this course for your first year. No,
And
if you decide to become a broker, you have
and
to.
it's a 30-hour course, not the 6-hour course.
That's a big one too, right? How many people, right? Like, so we're like, oh, we're doing the broker requirements.
Yeah, and just so it's clear, I know you mentioned it earlier, Andrew, but it's 98 hours. 30 of them have to be real estate brokerage, 4 legal update 1 and 4 legal update 2. The other 60, core related, like principles or anything like that. Now, I want to point something out that's also extremely important, is that these new agents, like myself, I want to get going. I want to start, I don't want to do it last minute, because you might have some of those people that, say, well, I don't want to do it last minute. I want to,
All last minute.
right? So
All last minute.
my license is going to expire in 2 years, so I want to do it now, so I don't have to worry about it in 2 years. Okay, think about this.
I'm about five days out. I'm like, who can
There are,
cram in?
okay? And for that very small percentage of agents, Scott was here and he was talking about the 2-year deal. You can't take courses within the 2-year period for it to count and similar. This is a new course. It's a new course. It's a new course number. Anybody that wants to take it and the account towards their SAE can.
I would say that this course is positive for anybody that wants to run a business.
Absolutely.
I run through the accounting.
It's a good course.
Run through the accounting portion, and I'll be honest. How many people don't keep track of their own expenses?
Sure.
Is just dismal. Is horrible.
Yep.
Because we are in a business. You should not be taking your commission checks and sticking them in your personal account. You shouldn't. We know this because we've been in business long.
But do we know this? That's the point. As
the industry does not.
we don't know this. That's the thing. You sit down with any realtor and they're like, well, yeah, pretty sure I think I made money last year, right? Like, there's a lot of people out there like, maybe not. I don't know. I eat every day. Yeah, made money. I paid for gas.
And people look at 1099s instead of paying attention to the actual numbers.
Right.
Right? People will say, well, I made $80,000. Okay. Let's take $80,000. Let's take out your expenses. Let's take out FICA for that entire portion left, right? FICA's 15.5%. Like, you didn't make that.
No.
And that is oftentimes not paying attention.
Somebody told me the other day, switch finance with real estate brokerage is pre-licensing.
Just so we're clear, if somebody made $80,000, don't make them feel like shit. The point is,
I mean,
why you gotta do that? I felt like crap for that guy. The point is,
Only $3 million reduction.
you're not doing 100 deals a year, like 500 deals a year. The point is, you're Brian, you're real estate. No, man, I think it's so important for the academy to be pushing this out there. And now,
Yeah.
my understanding is Gephar's going to try and help us out.
so as far as Gepar, so they've already helped us out, and it's still huge in regards to getting the word out. Okay, so number one is it was a little late this time around, but if Andrew ever texts me back and gives me a date,
Some guys drop
4 of
the
us are in
ball.
the room right now.
Why
We
don't you
can,
just-
we can plan next week, but
or September.
Andrew dropped the ball.
But the idea is that we get so big, right? That this class gets so big that we've got to have a big, that would be,
Huge with the line.
ideal.
it is ideal because the little room is visible.
It is, and it can be
For a lot of reasons.
Can be. But yeah, that would be very beneficial not only to the academy but the association's members and the license holders that are renewing.
So let's look at this. Let's look at local, right? Let's look at, we're already talking 40% to
Right.
60% realtors are going to leave, right? But let's take for a second, right? The people who don't realize it and not cover a change. Because you already asked, how many times have we had this class? And you asked, hey, how many of your brokers told you had to have this class?
Right.
The answer is usually
1 out of 5.
1 out of 5, right? It's just crazy. So my point is, how many of those people are going to go inactive?
Right.
And the people that are going inactive, how many of them come back and get their real estate license, or they go sell mobile phones?
Well, that's what I'm saying, and that is 2 out of 5. 2 out of 5 will go inactive.
So
Okay.
So we're looking at locally a lot more than 48%. Yeah,
Right.
we don't get our shit together.
That's yeah. So with 2 out of 5, you know, that's what 40% that go inactive. How many of those decide not to return?
All of them.
I would
Some
say
of them may
We don't like to talk about
come back-
absolutes, Brown.
No, but some of them may come back as, you know, if they get motivated or they have a contract. But if they don't have a contract in place,
Right, but it comes. Yeah, that's what it comes back to. Is what is their production within the 2 years?
listen, the board, we've been having this conversation. I know when I was on the board, Andrew has this conversation every week, that we are making conscious efforts that says growth is going to continue to happen. And you run a business that requires for that growth to continue to happen.
Yeah.
But I'll be honest with you. People, they love selling Sunset. So today they're
Oh, yeah.
excited about selling real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, that's a little less sexy and it's not as cool. And the board has spent money according to the 3,000 members that we have. But 2007, 2006, we had 1,500 members.
Right.
And you need to be conscious about the fact that the market is at 10-1. Nobody's talking. Nobody's talking. The realtors just set up a settlement for how much?
About 300 million.
Right? 300 million. Let's call it 300.
A little bit more.
300, I think it's 400 million, right? So how do we pay for that? Because I looked at the little report that the realtor sent us.
We don't have
That
$400
says we have $100 million in liquid cash. Where is this money coming from? Right?
Yeah.
And if we lose membership, let's say Harvard's right, we lose 40% of membership. Why are we paying them 300 additional million?
Right. The original 1.78 billion or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Was the original?
We need to be conscious of this, and we're forgetting these facts that are relevant. And then we get hit with new forms, we get hit with new classes, we get hit with new restrictions across the board. I feel what is the biggest issue at hand is, how is this information? Because we are conscious, right?
Right.
And you told me, and I paid attention to my email, I didn't see the forms hit.
Yeah.
Right?
I watched the video today because I'm a broker. But the rest of us aren't.
And you're gonna have trading tomorrow morning.
We are having
Right,
training
yeah.
tomorrow morning on
To watch the video.
We're actually, and the sad truth is that, I mean, some of my best trainings are, guys, here's the Texas Realtors magazine. I know none of you opened it. We're going to open it together and we're going to read some of these things. I will say this, the Texas Realtors put on some of the most amazing opportunities that are not free. And that's the frustration I have. The board puts on some amazing courses that are not free. You're paying for them with your dues.
Yeah.
And I think too often realtors think, oh, it's a free class, what do I care? Oh, it's a free magazine. It's not free. You paid for the magazine, read the magazine.
Right.
You paid for the class, go to the class. And we had 2 professional attorneys going over all of the changes and explaining why they did the changes on these 11 forms. And a lot of my meetings going to be hitting play because I know I can guarantee they didn't. And well, after we do that, we will have that discussion. Okay, do you understand why we did this? This is what happened. There is a red line coming in for the Texas from the Real Estate Commission about the 1-4 contract. My fear is, I'm one broker.
Yeah.
You know, in all the courses we've had, I've had an agent in my class, in that class. Brian's had an agent in that class. Where are the other brokers telling their agents to go? Or are they telling their agents to go? And that's what scares me is, you know, agents, I would love to say we're all adults, everybody is paying attention, but that they're trying to make money. And my job as a broker, in my opinion, is to make sure I'm getting that information to the agents because I know they're not paying attention.
Yeah.
And my job is to pay attention for them.
And that's, you know, part of my job too. You know, I need to get out there and I need to go to those sales meetings but that's for my business. That's for our
We're
business.
in pre-COVID, we're post-COVID.
Post-COVID.
And pre-COVID, we had office meetings. We had it.
Oh yeah, man.
They're not as relevant.
No.
They're not as relevant. I'm
That's
sorry.
great.
But they're not. People don't show up as much. That's a fact. But the point is that we need to come into. Yes, every realtor should have some sort of responsibility for their own personal business.
Yeah.
Like you need to know where you're at. At the end of the day, every agent should have some responsibility for what they're required. However, as a leader, right? Every broker should be like, look, dude, you need to do this, this, and this from a financial and a business aspect. But we need to know what you need.
I would give it a different version because I don't think that's the case. I think if you're chasing 100% commission, you need to understand what 100% commission comes with. And that is you taking those responsibilities. And I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, you're buying the fact that you are owning more of your business. And therefore, the broker probably is not going to disseminate that information out to you. So if you are at one of the brokerages where they are not doing regular, consistent training, it is your responsibility as an agent to be responsible about the process. And I will tell you this, last night I was busy and I was running, I had to run a COA. I skipped past 4 pop-ups on MLS. And I sat there last night, woke up probably at like 1 o'clock in the morning and like, shit, I skipped.
Right.
Right? Because at the end of the day, I didn't get business done at that moment, right?
Sure.
Money made or reading a notice.
Sure.
At the moment, it was money made. Okay, so we need to be conscious about this fact that you as an agent, not as a broker, need to be conscious that it is your business.
Absolutely.
Because if I didn't treat my business like a business, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Right.
And that's the problem. People don't treat it like a business. They think it's a job. It is not a job. I had this conversation with my wife when we first moved in together, and I said, I don't get a paycheck. I get a commission check when he closes.
Yep.
And
when it's earned.
So just be conscious about that. And Andrew, Nick is on producer duty, so I think we are getting ourselves.
I actually don't know what to say.
Say we're 45. You were a 10.
As I keep saying, it's 1, 0. We're at 45.
Doing great. Doing great.
Thank you, Brenda. Awesome job.
But
job,
with
Brenda.
that, take control.
We'll close that up.
Wrap it up.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into Growler Hour with Conrad.
We need the growler his hour.
Growler, yeah. Hey, guys, we need more growlers. But the point is, thank you so much. Hey, the Academy is badass. It's awesome. We're trying to do our best.
Real quick, I mean, before we end up, because there's one thing I want to tell you about. We can be done. There's options for live and online.
Sure.
What are the true opportunities for in-person versus online
Training for people who are going through the Academy or
even MCSA classes?
Well, that I don't know as a learner because I've only ever gone to the academy for anything besides when we had to do COVID. And I will say that when we taught on COVID, I felt very horrible for the learners during COVID because it was via Zoom. And I will say the difference is the feel, right? Is in front of me. I maybe should have got
I think I figured out why you're there with favorite instructor. Are you touching the student?
I'm starting to see what you did.
It's
This made it feel amazing.
It's the personal touch that our instructors are able to give. When you take online courses, you know, and some people like you're so busy going, we might need to do it, but when I get an online course done, and then let's go specifically with the SAE, even CE, just regular, 18 hours. I am going to start the program online, and I'm going to go do the laundry, and then I'm going to go show a house, and then I'm going to come make dinner, and then I'm going to realize that I didn't finish it, and I paid for it, and I need to get it done by the 31st, and the Academy's one ends on the 29th, right? And I can go in person there, get it done in 30 hours, boom, done. And the other thing too is we can be very swift and quick. Yet you get that personal touch, that personal connection with the instructors at the Academy. And I really don't know if there's the difference, but we're the only brick and mortar school that has been around since 1975. They're celebrating their 50th anniversary next year. And I think it's just the personal touch that our instructors are able to give with the experience and the camaraderie with the other students.
I will say, if I'm at a class or a meeting on Zoom, 3 minutes in, I'm on my phone. There's guarantee
I'm not.
Sure, but I will say this too, though, Andrew, is when and you've seen it, these students are already starting their network with each other.
Exactly.
Right? And so at the academy, they're starting to network. We have students that go, to dinner together, that study together, that meet up at the academy and study at the academy together, which, we encourage, but like they're starting their network. And people will come and see me and they'll be like, they'll say, oh, you remember so-and-so? Yeah, we hosted an open house together, blah, blah, blah. And so they're starting that network. And then the other thing too is that when you take classes at the academy, like you said, if you're online, you're on your phone, you're getting distracted. And that's really where I was at, is you're getting distracted. And you're there, you have to be there. You got to be there for 2/3 of the class. You miss something, you got to make it up. And it's I think the difference really is the personality, the camaraderie, and we can, we get it done pretty quickly.
I think I'm in the National Guard, right? I have a lot of buddies in the recruiting and all that kind of stuff. They're all in the process. A lot of them are processing a real estate license. I have one buddy who's been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah.
He's in the process. He's like, oh man, I'm going for it. So many of my friends have been like, you know what? I'm just going to go try the academy out.
Yeah.
And now they're almost finished.
Right.
Because they come through, they're like, hey, it's 1 week or 2 weeks, depending if you do a day or night.
6 or 12.
Right? But that's the whole point. You just get it done. Like the allure of the online is, you can do it whenever you want. You can get it done at no time.
People chase the cost.
But you don't do it.
Yeah, the same thing they do with brokerages. They chase the cost.
Sure.
And oftentimes, if you don't have the discipline to follow through with that mindset,
Yeah.
it's not successful.
Oh, and also, Brian, like, I'll have people that come up to me and they say, like SAE or something, or CE, they'll be like, yeah, I took classes with you guys. And I'm like, I don't remember you. Like, when was it? Oh, it was on Zoom when we were doing Zoom. And then they was like, I'll never do that again. Some people go, I'll never do that again.
Because half the thing about real estate, right? It's like, it's not just knowing what you're doing, because it's a relationship thing, right? Like if I know someone who's bringing me an offer, right? Like I'm like, oh, I know this guy.
Absolutely.
We have a relationship.
Sure.
We can finish something a lot easier. I know what he's trying to get done.
We're only successful with our competitors, like that's the only way we can be successful, is by having competitors.
Well, and Scott told us this, and we talked about it last week, that you have to have a fiduciary deal. With that fiduciary deal comes from the communication with the other agent.
Absolutely.
And if you can have that open communication, I guarantee the people that have been in the class with us, one, have a good rapport with us, but two, have a good rapport with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, yeah, you're right. It breeds so many different benefits, like going to the academy, by taking those classes. It's going to be a little bit extra cost, maybe than some places.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's a tangible benefit.
Pay for what you get. You get what you pay for, I guess. Yeah, right. Get what you pay for. But yeah, I wore pants unlike Scott. Just want to point that one out.
That's important, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Wearing pants? Yeah, I know.
With that,
Yes, sir.
did my
Just want to finish up.
just want to make sure that we all tell everybody, one, if you are coming up on your first renewal, make sure that you take this class.
Yep.
The academy is putting it on approximately once a month, and make sure that we work through that process. Make sure you are following that process. And then last but certainly not least, the academy is now the official education provider for the Board of Realtors, again, after some hiatus, right?
Correct.
And that is, they are doing Legal 1, Legal 2, all the course load at the
All
guest
18.
parts well, right?
All 18.
And then on top of that, we want to make sure that people also understand that it is an establishment. It has at that value, and it's continuously adding.
Mm-hmm.
There is no course load right now for the changes,
No.
but this is where you need to make sure that you're still finding that education in other environments. With that, do you have anything to kind of closing words?
No, I do. Affiliate of the year of 2022, I believe, was the Academy of Real Estate.
Correct.
So for the Greater Ohio Association of Realtors. Not only that, Conrad was the salesperson of the year in 2022.
21.
2021.
I passed him the gavel.
So in this room, we have 2 salespersons of the year and 2 brokers of the year.
And it,
And it-
And the youngest president.
and the youngest president of the group.
And you guys know, I have to shout out Phyllis Goodrich
Absolutely.
because without her, none of us would be anywhere near
Fact.
where any of us are or have achieved or, their success. So we got to definitely, honor that because I wouldn't be here without, her.
Oh, shoot. Just,
Yeah,
Well, she openly goes out and recruits
absolutely.
teachers.
Oh, yeah?
And
forces us to show up.
yeah, teachers are tough because listen, at the end of the day, every week that we have it, we all ask ourselves, and we forget because at the end of the day we have businesses running that we're going through. And at the academy, it is ideal because we all took the the legal 1, legal 2 online update.
Not my favorite.
Not
Oh, yeah. Instructor training, yeah.
it was
Proctor was a little insulting, for being honest. Like, maybe grab my computer and like move around the room, like.
Yeah.
It was a little tiresome, but that's the point, right? You can take it in that manner, and you can take your courses online and get them done. That's not the point. The point is to learn something
Yep.
while you're getting it. So I
Absolutely.
think that's what a lot of people miss.
And create a relationship.
I say that every time I teach. It's like, if you learn something while you're here, then it wasn't a waste of time.
The academy is the way to go.
On the fundamentals.
Yeah, and it's just good that I'm in on Thursday to fix everything.
So these two do it.
Messed up.
Yeah.
Wednesday,
Monday,
Friday,
Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
mess up
kind of mess
Monday.
up, and then Thursday. So Monday, Thursday is kind of the days.
But I do want to mention
Me and Andrew are not giving along. I just leave an extra chapter.
yeah,
You
just
just
leave
done
it
that.
at the
That's
chapter.
actually true. That's a good story.
Nice.
I didn't do a chapter.
I like
Just throw that one in.
I like it, but it's a big deal, man. The requirement, but I think one of the better comments that was made was that it's a business class, like in how to run a business.
It's important.
It's
It's
truly
truly
work. The funny thing is, it's called brokerage, but almost everything we're teaching to run a brokerage is how to run a real estate business. It's all about marketing. There's a section in there about employees. Well, if you're going to have a team, there's a good chance you're going to have an employee. So it's a great for that opportunity. There's a whole section in there about all of these different things that you're like, guys. Right now we're saying brokerage, but this is your business, and just take brokerage out of it. This is how you run a real estate company, and running a real estate company is being a broker or being an agent.
Yeah,
And to just take the brokerage out of it, this is how you were successful.
agreed.
100%.
Agreed.
Well, with that, you want to cap us off?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish.
Thank you, Conrad. Do one of these.
Hey, and Ryan starts us off every time with a slap, and I like to chase him around. But at the end of the day, thank you, Conrad.
No, thank you guys for having us. We really need to get the word out, so we really thank you guys for having us here.
Guys,
What I would like to cap off is, guys, do the broker scores.
Yeah.
Like you got 2 years. If
Just
you're within
because-
2 years, do it,
And
and don't do it online because how many times have we show up there and be like, yeah, I failed the online course, so I'm here now. I would say 50% of it failed the online course.
and honestly, if they did it,
Do it the academy.
you have to do it your first 2 years. There's nothing that says if you're past that, you can't take it, and you won't learn something from it.
Right.
All right, so that's the cap, Brian.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you cap us off.
count it down. Guys, have a great week.
We'll do it
Hopefully, we'll bring more content. If you need anything else, let us know. Conrad, thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.